Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to the panel members for your time today, for coming for this wonderful discussion, which has been organized by Confederation of Indian Private Universities. The Knowledge Series, I think it's a great initiative and a perspective to understand what's new in the industry, what are we heading for, and what is required for the industry. The topic for discussion for us today is very, very interesting and close to my heart. It is also the research that I'm pursuing for my own personal doctorate program, is creating a high performance work culture. But before we get into the topic, let us just have a brief round of introduction. So I'll start with me. My name is Kaushelendra. I'm working as Director People and Culture with NICMAR for 1.5 years. Prior to this, I was in Malaysia. So I have been in the education industry for past 5 years, and I feel blessed that I am in this, institution where we are giving a lot of focus on building a high performance work culture. We are also trying to aspire for a QS ranked university, and for that, I believe that it is important that we have a high performance working team as well in our endeavor to achieve a high performing work culture. So, starting with you, if you can briefly introduce yourself just to let us know what you have been into and how long has been your educational journey.
So first of all, I think thank you for hosting us, and also thanks to CIPU for inviting us on such a good occasion, and it's a nice initiative. I am currently my name is Dr. Amol Randive. I am currently associated with Vishwakarma University, Pune, heading Placement and Career Progression Office, and also member of Board of Management. And it's been about 13 years that I'm working with this group. Has worked in corporate for 2 years, startup for about 1.5 years in the past. So, an interesting topic. I think let's discuss further, and happy to learn from all of you as well.
Definitely.
In the process.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm Rebika Singh. So 13 years of seasoned experience in HR field. I come from the corporate side. So education industry is the first time when I entered Ajeenkya Patil University as a HR head. And before this, I was into Maruti Suzuki, and I had been into various sectors: steel industry, construction industry, IT industry. And after passing out, I think from 2011, in 2024, I again entered the campus and the university side. So yes, head HR for Ajeenkya Patil Group. Thank you.
Yeah, hello everyone, good afternoon. I am Dr. Rita, Dangre, and I am working as Director HR for Indira University, and I am working with Indira Group from last 15 years. I started my career as Assistant Professor with Indira, and now I am Associate Professor, and transitioned to the HR role very recently.
Right.
And yes, learning the nuances and enjoying the process of being in HR. Yeah.
So great to have all of you, all industry experts here, and we will now delve more deeper into our core, discussion for the evening, which is creating a high performance work culture in academic institution. Although it may sound a very easy terrain, and everyone aspires to be a high performing work culture, but surprisingly, no one knows where to start and how to end. So this is something which is picking up of late. One, for the fact that academic institutions, you have a cohort of people who are highly intellectual, who are renowned academicians, and when you talk about performance with them, it doesn't gel too well. So that is one problem area or a challenge which we perceive. So from that context, if I have to ask you, say starting with you, Dr. Amol, what in general, when it comes to your mind as a thought process, what do you think about what is, according to you, a high performing work culture?
Amazing. I think you started with a question about it's I think to do with perspectives about definition of performance. As I was reflecting on the initial thoughts, the first thing is how performance is defined.
Great.
The moment you said teachers think differently, feel differently, operate differently, it's to do with the definition. Like in industry, we say key result areas and KPIs.
Absolutely.
Probably a lot of them are trained differently.
Correct.
So one of the key, I think, major steps that needs to be taken is alignment and open discussion on what are our priorities.
Right.
what matters the most.
Absolutely.
For example, is it students? Is it placements? Is it the admission numbers? Is it the rankings, accreditation? So I think there are numerous things that organizations are trying to attempt,
Right.
and that clarity and also communication internally
Right.
can help a lot.
Right.
So I look at it as an alignment issue to begin with,
Great.
and there are a lot of other things that we'll, I think, delve deeper into.
Absolutely. Actually, you hit it on the go. It is important what do you aim for. Say, for an example, if it is student experience, definitely you would want the best experience for the students out of your faculties. What is the curriculum deliverance from their side? What is the infrastructure that you are providing? So if you want a high-performing culture, it is a 360-degree ecosystem that you have to actually adhere to.
Towards that goal.
Absolutely.
Yes, I think education industry in itself has its own way of working, and as you rightly said, that the faculties, the PhD holders, and you have a lot of intelligent people who are transforming or sharing their knowledge to the students.
Correct.
But when it comes to their own performance, you have to tackle with them very differently.
Absolutely.
And the one thing which I think brings the change in the performance arena is making them accountable or giving them that feeling of ownership.
Correct.
That this is their university, this
Correct.
is the core value of the university to bring the transformation in the student. It's not about whether they are getting placed or they are working in Google, whether they are being a nice human being at the end when they step out of the campus. Like from my university, I can speak, we believe in love and serve all. So these core values, the life skills and the core principles have also to be embedded in the students. So we somehow work through our workshops, our own internal meetings, the seminars, the town hall sessions, where all the faculties, all the deans and everybody in the non-academic part are aligned towards the thought process of the leader.
Right.
So this is very important, and sir very rightly said, alignment. The alignment has to be intact in order to have a good performance culture in the institute.
Great. Thank you, ma'am. I think one thing which is highlighted is inclusivity, and that is all coming together, because many institutions which I have worked, there's always a common complaint that we are not included in the decision-making process. They may not be, to be honest, they may not be in all decision-making process, but definitely they would want to be that. If you're rolling out a new initiative, they would want to be a part of that. And that is what we mean is inclusivity. And that is exactly what ma'am was also referring to. Yes, ma'am, what would be your perspective?
So connecting the dots from what sir has said, that we have to kind of, have a right perspective about what performance is expected in the academic or HEI domain particular.
True.
For example, in one university, there are different schools. School of Pharmacy will have different approach. School of Information Technology will have different approach. School of Business will have altogether different approach. So one size fits all approach will not work in academia. The way it works in industry.
Very true.
So in industry, we have KRAs, KPIs, well-defined system, well said. You are dealing mostly with machines, or even if you are dealing with people, they are of equal kind of age group and all. But in educational setup, this environment is completely different. So we cannot have one size fits all or approach, because some people or some academic staff members, somebody will be very good in teaching, but he might not be interested in publishing scopus papers, or he would not want to do that.
True.
Somebody will be very good in research publication, but he is not very good in with teaching. And somebody would love to be into the academic administration and teaching, but not research. So such different parameters he will choose, or the basket of choice he will make for himself. So as HR or as academicians or the leaders, we need to, I think, understand and take all these things into consideration, and then design the performance appraisal or strategies to assess their performance accordingly, so that it will do more justice.
So very, very, very rightly put. I think one shoe doesn't fit all sizes. And you will have different yardsticks for different performance parameters. So one point I would like to take forward is that if a person who is an academician is good in research, you definitely will not measure and have the same KPIs given to him what you are giving for other faculties, because he is also ultimately in the rule book is also doing something valuable for the institutions. When we talk about research quotient, I think for an academic institute to have a good research score is very, very important. So absolutely right. The yardsticks have to be changed with different roles we will have to. Now coming to the basic question is, it's in your institution, do you have a performance orientation? Do you inculcate some kind of a performance yardstick or metrics in your own institution?
Definitely. I think having said this, for Vishwakarma, I think it is purpose followed by policy. That's one of the things that I think most of the employees would say, if not all. What I mean by that is something that Dr. Rita also mentioned about, core values, and Rebika ji also mentioned, is once that is understood and I won't say explained, but there's awareness and buy-in for that.
Absolutely.
Then you definitely need policy and structure and systems in place.
Correct.
But without that purpose and clarity on why are we doing this,
right?
The why is not answered.
Very good.
What and how becomes very difficult, and people are not at ease doing that.
Absolutely.
And also, the best doesn't come out.
Absolutely.
So there is certainly performance appraisal, and there are facets, as I think Dr. Rita rightly said, for various faculties. How do we customize it?
Correct.
Also for people, depending on the roles.
Correct.
You may have people who are doing better in research. There are people who are contributing to administration.
Absolutely.
There are people who are adding to student experience. And once the management understands that everything counts, you are more accommodative.
Correct. Very true.
That is not about bias, but it is more about those adjustments so that you are customizing it.
Very true.
So I think people feel valued.
Absolutely.
That's important.
Absolutely.
Because if the appraisal is seen as something that is stopping people from
very
growth,
true. Very true.
It's quite dangerous. We all know.
No, I quite like your response.
If it leads to encouragement, gives direction,
absolutely,
set an example.
Absolutely.
People find it better.
Absolutely.
And I think organizations can.
No, great takeaway from your response. It is not just how you do it.
Yeah.
It's important and why you are doing it and how it is being implemented. It's just not that the process has been implemented in the university. You got to be very careful about what you have instituted, because this can be a breaking point as well.
Yeah.
More than doing good, it can also, be some kind of a deterrence or, a kind of retaliation from the employees that why it has not happened in the correct manner. So it's not just we have to also understand, as you rightly said, the how and why part of it, why it is being done, how it is being executed. Because any performance yardstick that you set for an organization, if it is not done accurately, it can mar more of the consequences than it can add value for which you are implementing it. Right. So, what is your take, ma'am?
Yes, your sir has very rightly said, and I think the HR principle, it is universal, and it's how you customize based on your needs.
Absolutely.
So, setting goals, what we call as a OKR method. So that is what we have implemented in our institute, and since the starting of the academic year, what we do, we design the balanced scorecard for each of the HODs, which starts from the Vice Chancellor itself.
Great.
So Vice Chancellor knows that what are my 4 perspectives, 4 pillars on which I have to achieve certain goals, which starts either from the, improving the academics, also the placements, also your accreditations, and what kind of awards you are bringing for the university, how you are going ahead with the funding. Since we are a innovative university, we have a lot of importance on what new ideas are being brought in and how we are going further in the innovation cell and how we are entering into the industry. So these 4, also the people management also is always there, which is standard across all the HODs, be it any kind of a HOD. But learning and development, we have made it very mandatory that every HOD has to, contribute, and how you are developing their own team members in a way. So, and that gets cascaded downline towards the bottom line and all the people or the subordinates who are in their team members. So this is the simple process which we follow. And at the end of the academic year, we sit again with the balanced scorecards, see what are their achievements, where are the gaps, and accordingly, how is the performance of the overall university taken place. We have the budgeting system done in the starting of the year. based on the budget, everyone is given a very fair chance and a very fair and transparent way of their incentives and their.
So, ma'am, you said that Vice Chancellors is cascaded the KREs down to the bottom, right? So it's a drop down, maybe plus and minus here and there.
Yes.
So what do you feel could be the financial metrics for non-academic staff? Because when we have it in the balanced scorecard, when we come to the financial metrics part of it, it gets difficult to, put the non-academic staff into that domain or perspective. So what is your take on that, ma'am, that when we support functions, how they can add value to the financial metrics?
Yes. So it is little difficult to, imbibe this pillar for the non-academics people. So we set their goals differently, in a way that how they are contributing or supporting to the other parts of the institutes.
Right.
So they also have a very vital role, in enhancing the or bringing, even if they follow their own budgets when it comes to events and other stuff, whether it is making their own storage place or archiving the files. If they follow their own budgets, then that's the financial perspective for them. If they are able to meet everything perfectly in the assigned budget, you are good to go.
That's a very nice perspective, and where most of us don't realize that if we stay to our budget, what has been assigned, we are doing something within the parameters of the organizational need. I think we are doing a good job done. Because many perceive financial metrics as something that you're a revenue generator. That should not be as support. I think that's a great point that you have stated, that if we align ourselves with the financial metrics which has been assigned by the organization, I think we are good to go on that.
Yes.
Right. Yes, ma'am. How does it happen in your institution?
At Indira, we do have a performance appraisal system, and the performance appraisal form is predominantly divided into 3 parts. One, for academic, I'm talking at the moment. For example, your teaching feedback is one thing, your research contribution is another thing, and academic administration part is the third thing. So different weightages are given to all these 3, and teaching feedback is something very one of the crucial elements for academic fraternity, and they must have at least 80% and above feedback. And at Indira, we do have a very seasoned professionals and educators, and to them only we send to the class to conduct sessions. And feedback is taken mid-semester also and at the end of the semester also, and in a very anonymous format through ERP. And feedback is also shared with the faculty members, and it is discussed in open forum. And if somebody needs to put on PIP, so we give him a very structured approach of how to proceed ahead. He's also assigned with a mentor from a faculty he's assigned a mentor by a faculty who is already at a certain level, who has achieved a certain benchmark in the
So kind of a buddy system.
So that is one thing. Also, we encourage people for upskilling themselves and staying relevant. We also sponsor a lot of faculty development programs, MPPs, at global level, nationally also. Indira sponsors people, and self-learning is also encouraged. Our president designate Indira University, Dr. Rita, she herself is a lifelong learner. She has recently completed her Harvard program also. So, this is a top-down approach. So, learning and upskilling and growing yourself with the organization is one aspect. Then about research also, we give research incentives so that people are motivated to publish papers, and it should come internally to them.
That's good.
And then in academic administration, we have a separate strata of faculty. Not everybody who is good in research and teaching will go for academic administration, but there are some faculties who will choose maybe research and academic administration. So we appraise their performance accordingly. Having said this, performance appraisal is a kind of compliance or a process. But what we believe is competence may not fit into the compliance. So that thing is also there, that we have seen lateral promotions, we have seen accelerated promotions in Indira. I am the example. I was in academics, and I am handpicked by the president designate herself to lead into the HR role. They have sponsored me twice, one in 2014 at IIM Ahmedabad for a residential program, and now very recently at XLRI Jamshedpur to pursue my EDHRM. So I am the living example of what a person can do given the right ecosystem and support and encouragement.
Right.
So this is all about the performance supply.
So my next question to
Thank you.
both of you would be that when we look at the performance of academicians, primarily now UGC is also laying a lot of emphasis on
Yeah.
performance-based appraisal scheme, right? And you will see in the HR fraternity also this community has grown because now institutions have started realizing the importance of HR as a function.
Yeah.
So if I have to ask you, for an academician, there are three aspects: teaching, research publication, and also your administrative responsibilities. So how do you fill it? Because sometimes many things become relative when you are doing see, there are a lot of pros and cons of anything that you institute. And HR knows, who knows better than the HR, So you have to be very sure of what you are implementing, how it is being implemented, and more importantly, when it is an academic institution, you have to be very, very sure. So it has to be 100% kind of a methodology that although you may not end up making 100% of a success factor, but we learn every year it improves on. So my question is, how do you, quantify your ratings or your evaluation methodologies?
Okay.
How do you do it? I mean, sometimes it is very relative. I mean, even if we say, for example, you have written 4 publications or 5 publications, the quality matters, the journals matter. How do you differentiate? And I mean, if something you can say from your experience, which can, help us understand what is the best practice we can move ahead with.
Yeah, so I think, see, what is your aim, with which we started this our discussion?
Yes.
So if that aim is very clear, then you don't have a problem in having your own method, what kind of method you have to follow in order to achieve that aim.
Correct.
So, for example, if you know that my university this time I have to go for A+ rating in NAC, this is your aim. Since you have to ensure that it, starting from the Honorable Vice Chancellor, this criteria has fitted into each and every vertical.
Absolutely.
Whether it is a teaching vertical, whether it is a non-teaching vertical, but everyone has a very vital role to play in achieving A++ rating in NAC.
True.
So this is the main brainstorming why we designed the appraisal forms. If we are clear with our own goals, if, for example, you have to achieve a certain kind of accreditation or a kind of a award, so how you are putting, one block in each and every of your schools.
Correct.
If you have to go for an NB rating specifically for a management school, then obviously you will put that criteria only for the management school and skip the School of Law maybe. Only put in the biotechnology school and skip the rest of them. So that is how the weightages come into picture. For each and every school, what parameters you have put, what blocks you have put, and how much weightage you are giving. So maybe for the MBA part in the School of Management, you give a higher weightage and you give lower down the other weightages, and vice versa in similar schools. So I think that could be one of the way, how to achieve this or design a nice form for your people.
Very well said. Adding to that, like ma'am said that we have to give weightage. So weightage also, the fundamental for arriving at a weightage is also what is the current level of that particular school or institute. For example, one particular institute will be very good in research, but maybe they are a little bit lagging from the expected standard of industry academia interface or the outcome-based education thing or NEP implementation. There could be various parameters or industrial visits or giving them the inputs from the industry experts.
Absolutely.
So we will have to assess the parameters and then see what is required, what is our set benchmark, and what is the timeline to achieve that, and accordingly, kind of reverse engineering. Just see the vision and then allot it accordingly. So this is how it goes.
And do you also lay emphasis on behavioral factors like collaboration, empathy? These are also very important. We are also going into a transition. We are now going in for SAP implementation. So we are seeing this journey, and our thought leaders, when we have discussion with our respected President, Vice Chancellor, we always feel that there should be some emphasis and some weightage given to behavioral competencies as well. So to start with, we have, as of now suggested 80-20. So 80 would be a KRA, 20% on the competencies, behavioral competencies. So what does you say on that?
I think it's a very nice thought, and it's very important to play a very good amount of emphasis on behavioral patterns, which are the core competencies of any leader or any of your person or employee who is working in your organization. Ultimately, your vision, your mission, your values are being reflected in the in your employees.
Yes.
So, in fact, our university follow the same. In fact, we have kept it more. We have kept it 50% and 50%. So, 50% of our KRA is your own goals, how much you are achieving. 50% are the 4 basic qualities, which is the communication skills, your teamwork, how you're collaborating with other departments, and your leadership skills.
So this is your organizational competency.
Yes. So everybody is being rated and analyzed in these skills, and then it carries 50% of your weightage, which gets on an average, and final scoring on 100 is done, so that you get it.
How about you, Dr. Amol? How is it in your?
I think on behavioral front, a couple of points. I think it's been a decade or more that we have these elements added. Characteristics such as ownership.
Wow.
So does this employee take?
So does it also entail accountability?
Yes. So we have things like ownership, accountability, something like intent to help others.
Great.
Yeah.
It's not the actual help.
Right.
Because that comes in.
Absolutely.
There could be stories.
Right.
Does the person have intent to help others?
Right.
Then understanding of organization's vision and mission.
Very important.
Something like alignment with the recent priorities.
Right.
Which is priorities also change.
Keep changing. Yes. Very true.
That alignment is not just that I'm committed and loyal.
Correct.
That's one thing.
Right.
Second one is, am I aligned?
True.
You also need people to, as both of them mentioned, depending on the priorities for that year or 3 years, 5 years.
Absolutely.
That alignment also becomes crucial.
Correct.
Because that is again part of high performance culture.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, I'm performing on different parameters in a very different era.
Very true.
Thinking that I'm doing good, whereas I'm actually not helping the organization grow.
True.
Because the priorities have changed.
Absolutely.
Or the necessities are different.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I think I can also add up. Yeah, ma'am, please.
So just want to add on the points that you said. I think performance management system is incomplete with a good reward and recognition system.
Right.
If you don't have these two parallelly running in your system, your performance system cannot be the perfect.
Correct.
It will always have gaps.
Correct.
So, if you have a very continuous reward and recognition system in your organization, which starts from the ground workers who are the clerical people to the highest authority which you have, then I think that makes the best system which you can adopt in your organization.
Yes. So, an example of that, I think it's impromptu but important and crucial in this discussion.
Yeah.
So, on our foundation day, every year, it's been like we are in 8th year now. The first set of people who are felicitated on stage is support staff.
Very good. It's a great initiative. Great initiative.
Yes.
Followed by that comes Pune and all those support.
So one speaks.
Then we go up to the senior.
Speaks volumes of your good culture. I think many institutions understand this phenomena that support staff is required. They are good, but
those are the ones who can actually take care of
absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
In the background.
Absolutely.
And yes. I think it was idea of our Vice Chancellor, sir, former Vice Chancellor, and it has helped us a lot. And that motivation is much bigger than probably,
exactly
recognition versus monetary.
This is much more because that's a memory which you are giving. That's the experience which you are giving to anybody.
Yeah.
And similar to this, we have a badge which says #earn while you learn.
Okay.
So anybody who has contributed, we want to thank him. You did a good job. We call them publicly. We make an announcement that this is the achievement, and we give them a badge over here, and they can.
What is the story behind? What is the story behind Earn While You Learn? Like you are sponsoring them for any education?
We are not sponsoring them. There is no monetary benefit to him, but still he gets motivated because he gets a badge to wear where he proudly says that somebody has recognized my efforts.
That's really good.
So we don't have to wait at the end of the academic year when we have our reports done and then we are declaring the results.
True.
It's on the spot.
True.
So
yes,
ma'am, please.
And I'm so much eager to share these
Yeah,
many
please.
initiatives that we
Yes.
have as a part of reward and recognition for academic and non-academic staff both. We have in the past we have held the series called Indira Jewels Award,
Okay.
where we recognize the people who are there with the organization from 15 plus years, 20 years. We have people 25 years in one
Right.
organization in academia and non-academia both.
Right.
Then for teaching faculties also we give a signed certification of appreciation from
Right.
the owner herself, and
Great.
this is a kind of very good motivation and encouragement for them. We also, like I earlier mentioned, we sponsor so many programs for faculty development and for individual development also. Then our leadership run, or rather Kaita ma'am runs a club called CARE Club. So CARE, CARE, it stands for Counsel, Advise, Rise and Evolve, where she gives her thoughts and counseling one-on-one, be it to the staff or student, whoever needs it. So this is a very good initiative. And we also send good performers in academia and non-academia to international exposure program of 8 to 10 days. Nationally also we send them. We reward and recognize their contributions in various prestigious forums like World Education Congress and alike.
Great.
So, lot many such things are being done.
No, I think very well said. Rewarding the commission goes a long
Hand in
way
hand with
from an employer perspective of showing that yes, this is
Yeah.
also building a high performance work culture.
right.
And as rightly said by Dr. Amol as well,
Mm.
that your priorities change now that we are into academia, into education.
Mm.
Many of them are transcending into the digital world.
Yeah.
Even NICMAR has recently, launched NICMAR online platform. We are already into executive education, so that's a different ballgame altogether, different world altogether. You will have different cohorts of employees joining you. You will have the Gen Zs now knocking at your doors because you will get those kind of employees now into your basket as well.
Yes,
Because,
very rightly said. And I'm very happy to hear that NICMAR is going for SAP. I think this is a very important step, in building a high performance culture. How good ERP system you have.
absolutely,
Otherwise, this is a total failure.
Right.
Yeah.
absolutely,
And I have come across cases where people have worked 15 years and 16 years and they want to exit from the academic field. Why? Because there's a lot of documentation. And when it comes, snack time comes, I am so tired
In
of
fact, you'll
documentation.
be happy to know we are creating the SAP system in such a way that for any accreditation, we have the data ready with us. We are making
is
the
very
system
important.
mature
Yeah.
so that it helps us because that is the usage of SAP for us. So
Yeah.
we are working towards that.
And SAP being one of its leader in the ERP system, and NICMAR investing in that, it's a big move. In fact, we have our own in-house ERP system where we have our own company running who is making the ERP. So we are customizing everything in-house and doing our own way. So I think it is very important if you want a high performance culture, have a solid ERP within your system.
Absolutely. So I think our introduction almost covered half our session, but it was really interesting. Now I have certain curated questions for all of you, starting with Dr. Amol. How is recognition and reward? I think we have touched upon this fairly, a fair bit of it. How is recognition and reward implemented in your organization for celebrating achievements?
I think adding to what we said earlier, so one of the areas that we are focusing on in the recent past is faculty members contributing to research, training and consultancy, and something that will have real world impact.
Right.
Something that is done with industry or for government organizations or for society.
Right.
So on that front, as of now, 80% of the revenue that is generated from any research, training, consultancy goes to teachers.
Right.
And then we are in discussion to make it 100%.
Great.
Oh, that's a great move.
Yeah. So that's what I think I mentioned earlier, and we all would echo this sentiment that once you define a priority, you also need to recognize what is good.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
that's what people would notice.
Absolutely.
The money part of it.
Right.
I'm sure none of us here is interested in whether it is thousands of lakhs.
Right.
What is important is it clearly gives a message that this is significant
Absolutely.
and it's a priority.
Correct.
And the president comes down,
Right.
and there are awards and there are cash prizes in addition to this for research publication and all. So something like this is better to signify
Absolutely.
the direction that we want to take.
Correct.
It sends a more clear message. I mean, that is
Correct.
how I look at reward and
Correct.
recognition. And also, there will be definitely people will miss out,
Right.
but I think that also sends a good message and
Right.
that gives a direction. Having said this, it is balanced naturally. You also
Right.
need rewards and recognition in other
Absolutely.
areas.
Yeah.
It's not that that's the only thing that you want to do.
Correct.
For maybe a couple of years to integrate that in the culture
Right.
and make people habitual of it.
Right.
It helps. And then there could be rewards for something else.
Correct.
And over a period of time, when you are in a position to sustain high performing culture with maybe a different set of people
Right.
contributing in 3, 4, 5 different areas.
True.
Because ultimately, it is not that one person is doing 10 things, as we all know.
Yeah.
If you have critical mass in each of these key result areas for organization, I'm saying,
Right.
then as an organization, you do better.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Amol. I think your perspective definitely enlightens us. But also the reason for this dialogue that we are having is also the way forward. And I'm not sure how right I am on stating this, but the emphasis more is always on academicians per se. How do you think we can also bring non-academicians reward and recognition at par? Because why I'm saying not that institute wants to differentiate, but the parameters are different. You have a conference proceeding where academicians can go and give their seminars or their papers, right? So I would say the podiums are not much for non-academicians, but if we have to bring them at par with the reward and recognition, what do you think would be a good way forward? It will take some time to assimilate and integrate into that level, but don't you think, as we have also discussed in this panel, that non-academicians are equally important? They are the backbone of the academic institutions.
Yeah.
So how do we bring this aspect as a future forward way of bringing everything at parity in terms of reward recognition?
I think this makes me think about one thing is the monetary, gains part of it. We all have to be realistic in terms of also the pay packages and amounts and work
True.
performance, as we say, and rewards for that matter.
Right.
The person has to find it rewarding. That's
Absolutely.
important.
True.
When I'm giving something, I may feel that I'm giving something valuable.
Right. But how do you perceive that?
People
Right.
perceive it differently
Very
depending on
true.
their situation,
Very true.
their priorities in life, their age group,
Correct.
gender, so many parameters.
True.
But I think something like monetary, if it can be attached to something that you asked earlier also, if student experience is a priority, how do staff members, non-teaching,
Right.
contribute to that?
Correct.
And they also feel that ownership and all, because they
Correct.
usually assessed on qualitative parameters.
Right.
And having said that, and then we have quantitative parameters when
Correct.
it comes to reward and recognition.
Absolutely.
I think major area of improvement for
Great.
in general I'm stating.
Great.
Although at our end, in terms of recognition, which is definitely there. As I
Right.
said, we start with class 4
Great.
in terms of recognition, and
Wow.
we also share those stories
Right.
that day about people who are helping each other, and those stories are picked around the year, and we share those
Wonderful.
stories on stage so that there is motivation.
Yes.
But it can be backed with, I think, more tangible.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. Great. So, Ms. Rebika, if I have to ask you, do you think that the line managers tend to be neutral in evaluating the performance of the team reporting to them? I think that's an easy one.
Yeah. No, see, there's.
Yeah, not organizations specific.
No,
Yes.
see, I think line managers are also human beings, and everybody has a natural biasness when it comes to judging
Wonderful
people.
response.
Yeah, so it comes
Naturally.
by the perception. It's
Absolutely.
always the perception biasness. That is why the HR has to come together for building a performance system,
True.
a reward and recognition system, and putting all these fundamentals together. So I think if we have a good performance management system, the tendency of getting into those biasness has reduced drastically.
Correct.
And right now, as you said, now we are into the ERP, everything, the student feedback, how
Right.
many classrooms you have
Yes.
taken, what is the teaching load on you. Everything is very transparent in the
Correct.
ERP system.
Correct.
So yes, I think there is no biasness when it comes to line managers in
Right.
evaluating, and if there is, then HR is always there to reduce that biasness. That is
Yes.
why we are here, So I think they are not.
Great
They are-
take on it.
they
I
are-
would like to add that definitely, HRs get a bad name that we try to, force rating.
Yeah.
But, when we have implemented, going by my example, we have ensured that if we have identified 10% bottom performers, let's not for that category define 10% bottom performers.
Okay.
Let that be a genuine percentage.
Yeah.
We are ready to tweak here and there.
Yeah.
Because if we do that, I think it's a job not well done.
Yes.
So we try to do that. At least the bottom layer we can filter out.
Yes.
But definitely we also guide the line managers, because you cannot have all top performers in your team. If there are 10 people working in your team, you can't say that all my 10 people are high performers. And as Mr. Amol also said, that it is also your sustenance. It has a cost effect to it. You can't be having a very top heavy, high performing academic institution, but
the institution doesn't perform
exactly. So there has to be a logical analysis of that.
Yes.
Second is, do you give any kind of training, like, because you talked about biases, so there's a recency bias, when you halo bias, there are a lot of biases which come in.
Yes.
So all these, do you normally tend to give some kind of a knowledge transfer to your employees?
We have a lot of training programs with respect to that, and periodic every monthly we follow with the training programs. We have an agency tied up as a training and placement cell where they are coming and training people about various topics. And with also regards to mental health, we have a training program, workshops and seminars going into the institution. So all these add upon the entire principle or the value system which is being built in the organization.
Great. So coming to you, Dr. Rita, how do you align incentivization for academic excellence in institutions?
Yeah, like I said earlier, at Indira, for academic excellence, we reward them monetary. Of course, it is always there. Promotions is there, and some incentivization is also there. Apart from that, giving them training opportunities, sponsoring them at eminent institutions in India and abroad.
Like you quoted your own example of I am Ahmedabad.
Apart from that, very recently, in the last 12 months, we sent a bunch of 25 to 30 staff members to Thailand for one of the program at AID University, I guess.
Okay.
And also...
So was it some kind of a faculty exchange?
It was a faculty development
program. Okay.
12 to 15 days.
Great.
Campus immersion.
Right.
And it was again sponsored by Indira. And some 4 or 5 months ago, we again sent group of 20 to 30 people to Dubai for AI conclave. It was again a 4 or 5 days immersion.
Right.
So it is like when they go for such conclaves, it is not only for attending the conference, but they also see the industry and they also interact with the various organizations.
Right.
It's like an international exposure kind of experience for them.
Right.
This is one way of acknowledging the contribution.
Great. Good. I think that's a lovely example.
Yes.
Not many institutions would be matching up to it, but definitely, they aim for that. But sending people to different cultures and different universities does help. It also helps to build that partnership with institutions, and get the feel of what they are doing best in their terrain. Yes. Coming back to you again, Dr. Amol, is how important is top leadership commitment? I think you have spoken very broadly. And as you rightly said, the priority part of it. So how important is top leadership commitment and role modeling in shaping high performance work culture?
I think what is adding to this very recently is that leaders are more visible now.
Right.
With digital footprint and ability for people across.
Yes.
Thanks to social media and everything going public. There's greater awareness of what they're doing.
Correct.
And if they're doing right, they're sending a better message.
True.
If no, it's all visible.
Right.
I don't think this kind of situation was there maybe a decade ago, 2 decades ago.
Right.
So that's the responsibility part of it, and also an opportunity.
Correct.
Because if your leaders are participating in events, learning themselves as Rita ma'am said,
right,
that's a clear message that learning is important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's more about actions, behaviors, rather than I think talking now.
Leading by example.
Absolutely.
And also the next generation of teachers that are coming in,
right,
I think they would refer to this more than any other code of conduct or stuff. Not that people are disrespectful of that,
right,
but I think this generation is more clear.
Right.
The younger ones, those who would come in education and teaching and not
right,
teaching,
right,
they would want to see those examples of people living it.
Right.
And also examples of effectiveness and efficiency.
Absolutely.
Effectiveness talks about what matters and what you have to do. And effectiveness is doing things in a manner that you are productive, result oriented.
Absolutely.
I think going beyond talking will make more sense.
Yes.
Like for us, our president is entrepreneur himself.
Right.
So the moment new people who come in the organization know that our president is also an entrepreneur and a person who is in business community and has access there, things like innovation, creativity, we should try out new things. It comes naturally to us.
Absolutely.
And I think that allows us to experiment better.
Absolutely.
Take a bit of risk that is needed within the constraints.
True.
Because we feel there is ground and there is support for things like this.
So lovely example. I think if it leads from the front and if you walk the talk, people are more inclined towards these strategic changes. They know the person is of substance who is driving this, and I think that needs and garners a lot of support.
Another thing, I think the management is not just one person. Generally, it is board or trust or a set of people. So more alignment we see there.
Very true.
That helps. Most of the organizations have it, but I think based on my past experiences and also working in startup, if that is missing, then you are not sending a clear message.
Correct.
It leads to confusion, chaos,
Correct.
and that makes people indecisive.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And slows down almost everything.
Very true.
Because then risk avoidance comes into picture.
Correct.
And you're not sure which direction to take and whether I follow this or that.
Right.
I think, and education institutions, there is greater scope for that thing to happen.
Absolutely.
Because it's done as trust and
Absolutely.
societies.
Absolutely.
This is based on my experience of working with startup and corporate.
Right.
I think it's far more challenging in educational.
And very relevant.
Correct.
But we all relate to what you have just spoken.
agree.
Yes. 100%. Yes.
There's the clarity and consensus at the top, and then there's a message for people
True.
about what is acceptable, not acceptable,
True.
what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong,
Absolutely.
what needs to be done fast, what can be parked.
True.
If people spend time in these decisions, we all can imagine thousands of people working.
Absolutely. Yeah. Different.
It multiplies to like anything.
Absolutely. Great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Risk and loss.
Coming back to Ms. Rebika, do you feel inculcating an inclusive culture where faculty, staff, and students value the importance of their contribution? We have also touched upon this, but any particular thing that you would want to say? See, this is a term which is lost in transition because many a times inclusiveness is very commonly diversity and inclusion we hear about, but no one knows what it is all about, right?
Yes.
And inclusiveness for me, as rightly said, is involving everyone in the ecosystem.
Correct.
May not be they will be the decision makers, but making them a part of that. Call a town hall, organize a town hall. We're implementing this. What are your inputs?
Yeah.
How do you perceive to take it forward?
Yeah.
So anything from your side?
Yeah, you rightly said, and we have spoken about this topic in inclusivity. It's very important. If you really have to give the ownership to someone, you have to include that person into the entire process. And it's really it has become a fundamental aspect now. How do you follow this? So every feedback is important, and we have a very proper feedback system when it comes to different categories of people. Students can straight away walk into the vice chancellor's office and say anything where if he is upset about the teacher. We have the mentor-mentee program where everybody is being counseled and taken care about their mental health. Also, the HR doors are always open. When clerical staff, when it comes to, they can always write and drop into the boxes of the grievance handling boxes where if they have any complaint or suggestions to make, they can just drop in there and give their suggestions. So I think we try to touch each and every corner of the university and try to include everyone as a one family ultimately when it comes to the organization. So that is how you can really practice the principle of diversity and inclusivity into your organization.
I think you have given a very practical example that all stakeholders have made an open and inclusive culture.
Yeah.
It's an open door policy for anyone meeting the vice chancellor.
And it always comes from the top, because our chairman, Dr. Ajeenkya Patil, his doors are always open. Even if a clerk wants to meet him, he has some problem or some issue or a request to make,
Right.
he can straight away take an appointment and go straight to his office and meet.
Right.
There's no bar, there's no doors or authority or hierarchy coming into picture
Correct.
when even a clerk has to meet the chairman. So that's how the culture comes,
True.
everybody also practices that and imbibes that in their own 6 to 9 job, which we
Because in my experience, I've seen a lot of humble souls in academia and educational institutions. You get amazed. You change your own persona that your high-headedness doesn't count. I mean, being humble and being so grounded, because it is always their outlook, giving back to society. And their endeavor is that these are the future of tomorrow. These students are going to shape up the India for tomorrow.
Yes.
So I think that is, we are blessed that we are in an organizational institution which has such high values, and being grounded is one of the greatest takeaways that we have taken. Right, ma'am. So coming back to you, Dr. Rita, would be if you can just list a few examples of a reward and recognition towards building high performance in your institution. You did stress on your academic staff going for a 15-day faculty development program, but when it comes to non-academics, what is your kind of reward and recognition that you have instituted? Anything that you can cite? Is it like an employee of the month or something like that? Have you started on those terminologies, anything?
Yes, definitely. So before giving the answer, I would like to state one quote that it says that performance appraisal once a year will make you happy once in
Once a year. Very true.
Creating a healthy workspace
Correct.
will keep you happy throughout the year.
Absolutely.
The focus should be on creating a healthy workspace, and I think at Indira we give a lot of emphasis on that. We having people with us for 20 years, 15 plus years is testimony of that fact.
Right.
And coming to the non-academic functions, we believe, and of course every education institute believe that it is very much important to keep the academic system running. So non-academic functions are the fuel.
Absolutely. Which propels the system forward. Yes.
We have created roles like COO, Chief Operations Officer.
Right.
We have Chief Technology and Information Officer. We have Chief Finance Officer.
Right.
We have Chief Corporate Relations and Outreach Officer.
Right.
We have Chief Projects Officer. So all these non-academic functions. Then we have functional heads, Director HR, Director Administration.
Right.
And they are given due importance, a clear-cut SOPs or job description, and the benchmark is already set, the vision is set, and giving them the budgets and the manpower and everything. I think it speaks a lot about how we go ahead with rewarding and recognizing the non-academic things.
Great.
Now, these are something big things I'm talking about. I would like to also quote, and not a very small thing, a very good and kind gesture.
Yeah.
On the birthday of every day, several people have their birthdays going on.
Right.
So from chairperson's office, we give fresh box of jalebi at his office every day. So we have set that mechanism. So this is one small thing. If anybody has completed his graduation or post-graduation, or they have completed their PhDs, then a bouquet of flowers is sent with a handwritten note. So right from these kind gestures to sponsoring and encouraging them for learning and growing are some of the many initiatives that we keep on doing.
Great. I think that's a great perspective. It's not just momentarily interventions, it's all round the clock. And small gestures like passing a PhD or getting a certification for your master's.
Yeah.
I mean, that gesture itself to recognize by an institution on we are celebrating along with you is the message that we take away.
Yes.
Absolutely. So coming back to you, Dr. Amol, is what do you feel is the role of academic leaders in sustaining high performance work culture?
Critical in terms of, because they are the ones who are driving things on ground.
Absolutely.
All things like systems, purpose, policy, culture is very broad when it comes to day-to-day activities.
Right.
And like in case of individuals, habit formation happens based on what the set of actions and reactions. Numerous. The same thing. At the level of head of the department, dean or director, or those OSDs and team leaders that we have in the university, it is at that level that people actually get confidence about whether our direction is right or wrong.
True.
Because the actual message is there.
Absolutely.
Because that happens in pace.
Correct.
And that happens as on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
And that's, I think, in terms of the operational effectiveness or what happens on ground. That is what academic leaders, because they're physically present also. That may not be the case with management, because they can't be everywhere. But you have those leaders line up throughout, and those are the people who are on the ground and interacting and making those decisions and communicating a lot in the process. And also in terms of feedback, I think their input is important. In terms of training opportunities, those are the ones who can identify it early. Because if I have, let's say, 15 people, team members reporting to me, they can always suggest, but I think that also becomes my responsibility that I'm identifying those positives and also those areas of improvement.
True, very true.
It's all on ground.
True.
And the organization is a set of people. You need 1,000 people, you need all 1,000 right. That's when it will sustain in the long run.
Absolutely. And taking a cue from your perspective, I think we started this conversation when we said that it's difficult to make them understand that, or their perception that why we are being evaluated. But, there is a cohort of academicians who also believe that when I'm working good, I'm working well, I'm doing great job, why shouldn't not I be felicitated by the management or the institution? So basically what they also hint at is pay for performance kind of a differentiation matrix. So we have all people in the ecosystem who are looking forward for a performance-driven culture. And when we ask you this question, it is also for the leaders to understand that perspective, that anyone who does beyond the call of duty or who are doing great work, they should definitely get more.
I think for non-academic, the staff members, there are two good things that I think forgot to mention earlier. One is for their kids, the education is partially sponsored.
Oh, that's amazing! Amazing! It's amazing.
And two, there is flexibility in work schedule for examinations.
Okay.
So by and large, when people want to pursue higher education in non-academic roles, I'm saying, there's a clear guideline from the top.
It's wonderful to hear
that we don't want to discourage directly or indirectly. Let them pursue. We have a few PhDs in non-teaching roles.
Great. Amazing.
The flexibility, I'm saying, because that's a big hindrance actually.
True.
Pursue education and go for exams. And if the leave is not sanctioned, it's all gone. Versus you give that flexibility and then people are also accommodative.
Absolutely.
You also then respect those, I think, line managers better.
Absolutely.
They understand that, okay, this person has helped me.
Absolutely.
It's my turn now.
Absolutely.
That's why I think that.
No, I think that's a point very well taken. We will have to go beyond the rule book sometimes to accommodate these kind of, changes that we will need to do and adapt in terms of special requirements, as you said about examination duty and how you are, bending.
Just to add, sorry to cut you, there I think identifying those exceptions.
Correct.
And again, communicating those clearly.
And I would say validated exceptions, otherwise they become. Yes.
Officers have that assurance that these are the 10 exceptions for which I did not take special permission.
Good. That's a very
these exceptions are known to you, and you can take those decisions.
So validated exceptions which are taken care of by the management and understood by the management can be given. So a point very well taken. I think that's a great perspective which you are doing in your organization and which will help us in the longer run. So coming back to you, Ms. Rebika, is how important is trust and accountability for establishing a high performance work culture?
Yeah, of course, accountability is very important, and that's the main thing. It can change the entire game. If a person feels I'm accountable and it follows the principle, the work is not done unless it is done.
Absolutely.
So you have to ensure that whether it was a work for your boss, but it's still incomplete unless it's complete.
Very true.
So you have to be part of that. You have to put yourself accountable for that unless that work is finished. You cannot say, I send you a mail and my work is done. Now it's your headache whether you have finished it or not finished it. My job is done sending you a mail and reporting to you. So I think this message and this kind of a culture should be there in an organization, and it will create a good impact and overall a nice performance culture. High performing people will obviously evolve out of if you have that principle and that thought process in your
Absolutely.
mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Coming back to you, Dr. Rita, for the final question is, what according to you is the role of non-academic leaders in academic institution? We are talking now about the heads of departments.
Yeah, so non-academic leaders indeed have a significant role in kind of keeping the academic engine running.
Absolutely.
For example, if there is any event or even the readiness of the classroom, right from the
True.
housekeeping to the peons to the support staff service, everything must be well managed and well
Absolutely.
coordinated. It's a daily routine also, and during the major events also. Then coming to the IT department, the digital transformation, the various LMS softwares, or even for employees, the regular ERPs, updating it and providing the appropriate hands-on training to the employees and students. Then the digital transformation in the exam department. So every function, be it finance, be it projects department, be it administration, all these are support functions, and without this, I think academic just cannot survive. Forget about thriving. So yes, they are
So true and so well put. I think the role is mostly undermined, but it is actually the engine which drives the entire ecosystem.
water supply stops for
Yes.
one day, then everybody realizes. But when it's
Absolutely.
running every day,
Absolutely.
nobody realizes.
Be it examinations, be it finance, be it HR, be it the marketing team, be it the admissions team, be it the registrar's role. So I think these are very important portfolios, and they all are doing a lot of valuable and important work behind the scenes. So I have also, in my 5 years of education experience, worked very closely with non-academic staff, and I think it is time that even academic institutions now from here on understand the importance and give them the platform and the leverage, for more learning, for more, improvisation in their own particular roles. I think we are making a progressive step towards that, but there's a lot which needs to be done to make them, more equipped with the portfolios they are handling.
Yes.
So I think we have had a great round of discussion, but just the final pointers from all the experts here is, I think my favorite question here would be that what will be your suggestion to academic leaders to initiate cultural transformation, because they are the backbone of this entire ecosystem. So what do you think is one thing that you would expect, and I think that is a takeaway which we can also try to imbibe.
Okay, so I'll go first.
Yeah.
Please feel free. Yes, ma'am.
About the cultural transformation, see, nowadays in India, the educational landscape is kind of sensing the very silent yet seismic shifts,
Yes.
and these shifts are not necessarily into the administrative or curriculum things, but shifts in the mindsets, shift in the values, and shifts in the behavioral aspects. So, there are many cultural parameters we can list down, but a few things that come to my mind at the moment is, people kind of envisioning a leadership role which is visionary and empathetic rather than very procedural, bureaucratic, and not so empathetic. And also from the student perspective, I think the Gen Z, we all know, and with the advent of internet, everything is available online. So the teacher's role is also has become more kind of a facilitator and mentor than just preaching in the class. And students are also no more passive listeners; they are active knowledge seekers.
Very
So
true.
as educators and as academic leaders, we have to kind of take a holistic view of the situation, and then kind of calibrate or recalibrate our systems, our SOPs, and our vision accordingly, which aligns with the shared common vision of achieving excellence.
Absolutely. Very well said.
Yeah, I think it's all the mindset ultimately which matters. And our Maslow's theory, it is long time back, which it has become redundant now. And even educators need to be educated now about
Very
what
true.
is the mindset of the Gen Z.
Absolutely.
And at the leadership level, you will have to deal with people who come from a traditional background, who do not even belong to the category of millennium. They are far beyond millennials.
True.
So when it comes to making a change or a cultural shift with them, it is a very tedious process.
Absolutely.
But the normal needs the societal needs, which states in the Maslow's theory, the safety needs or the society needs, the basic needs, everything is well accomplished and taken care for Gen Z. They don't need these things.
True.
Now their demand is they are more interested who is the star coming in the campus.
Very
In the convocation, who is going to hand over me that degree, whether it is a Bollywood star or a Hollywood star.
Very true.
And how many times I'm being sent to Dubai or an international trip there,
Correct.
whether I'm given a laptop here or not, or do I still have to do that paper writing thing?
Right.
So I think we need to first educate our own leaders. You need to change your mindset. You need to allow Gen Z to dress up in their own way, but still follow the protocols and maintain that decency and
True.
discipline in the university.
True.
You have to, give them certain kind of freedom and a freedom of speech, and still try to be with them, as a guide and a mentor, rather being a teacher all the time. You have to be more like a friend and a guide to them.
Absolutely.
And that is how these things will change the culture of the organization. These
Right.
things are very important, and I think it will come only when you change the mindset of the educators, which you have in house,
Absolutely.
and everything will fall in place in a
Well said,
nice
ma'am.
way.
Your take,
I
Dr.
think 2 points. First one is, to what extent we are able to create compassionate employees,
Yes.
which includes competence and passion.
Right.
So what is happening is there are people who are driven by passion. They think that is enough. They would be able to make a lot of difference.
Right.
You still need those skills to make it happen,
Very true.
because it's just the intent. And we all know that's not what students and probably the
Exactly.
other stakeholders
Right.
are interested in.
Right.
And then there is other group of people who maybe are better in competence,
True.
be it technical skills, hard skills, AI. They're the ones who are able to do it well.
Right.
Then do they empathize enough? Do they relate to what is happening on ground? Are
Absolutely.
they able to work with people across
Absolutely.
sectors? Are they able to work with not just MNCs? Do they also serve social enterprises and
Right.
startups well?
Correct.
Do they accept the reality that that is where we are heading now, and those people are also contributing?
Right.
So I think it is a combination of competence and passion.
Right.
That's something that needs to be looked at. And I think for every individual, every team and entity unit. And the second one is global. That's my favorite in the marketing. We're going global on one end, and then the NEP in government, and we all know
Yes.
Neighbor and everything is talking
Correct.
about localizing it, personalizing it.
Correct.
Yes.
So how academic leaders can actually have global perspective
Right.
and still local relevance.
Absolutely.
It's a big thing. I
Absolutely.
work closely with an entity called Maharashtra State Faculty Development Academy.
Okay.
I'm coordinator from university. We have worked with about 700 teachers across maybe like 300 campuses in the state of Maharashtra. Real issues are these: global aspirations, and the realities on ground are very different.
Absolutely.
Some are stuck here, and some are only envisioning the future. And the ones who are making difference are those who have global perspective
Right.
and
Yeah.
local relevance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that the importance of this will grow
Right.
further.
So I think great inputs. If we have to summarize, I think for you, Dr. Amol, two words has stuck with me. I think in this entire conversation, one you said is priority. What is your priority? What is your need? Then you need to devise your strategy according. And second, very powerful word that you spoke about was empathy. And in today's parlance, in the education industry, it is important to have that empathetical outlook, because if you hear of students, there are more issues now post-COVID, where empathy, factors a lot into the success of the organization, and the outlook and the outreach that you have as an organization towards the student community, or be it even for the staff and the other stakeholders community. So empathy is very important, and as you rightly said, prioritize your need first. What does the institution want? Once you have that goal setting in your place, definitely you will cascade all your strategies aligned to that. And many a times mission and vision is just cast in stone. And as you said, well, it needs to also keep evolving, keep changing, and prioritization is very important. We are in a world of evolution where things are ever evolving. We are hearing about AI in particular, and many transformation is around the corner. There are many much more which have not been divulged but are around the corner. So we need to adapt to those changes. Coming back to Rebika ma'am, we did talk about inclusiveness.
Yes.
I think that is one word lost in transition, I will reiterate my dialogue. And I think I also am from a thought leader perspective that it's all of us together. It's a collaborative effort. It is not that in an academic institution there is different yardsticks for people. I think we all come from that thought process that this is what will shape the future of the education industry in times to come. And Dr. Rita, I think great insights. You talked about the seismic shift, which we have been also reverberating, from that perspective that we need to change with time, otherwise time will change us. So that's so true. I think a lot of great inputs from your side on the reward and recognition. I think something which we will also now inspire and aspire to do. And great. I think that's all from my side. If final comments from any one of you on this, but it was a lovely discussion. I think I had a lot of learning from this, and I'm sure our viewers will also have that. Any final remarks from your side is most welcome.
Ma'am, please.
I think we too reciprocate the same feelings. Thank you for inviting. And on behalf of them also, I'm thanking. So thanks for inviting. And CIPU is a wonderful forum.
Absolutely.
And kudos to this initiative. And I have gone through your YouTube channel and various videos. And it's really heartening to see that there is such platform available for academicians. And this will be our go-to forum now onwards, I think, and we are so looking forward to participate and contribute in the forthcoming sessions or initiatives also.
Sure, ma'am.
All the best, and thank you so much.
Sure, ma'am. It was wonderful hosting you as well.
It was our pleasure, participating, and I think all of us have taken some of the insights from our dialogues. CIPU, great initiative. Please do keep doing this. We really enjoyed it. And NICMAR, keep growing.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for hosting us. You are wonderful and a very warm host.
Thank you.
And wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes. So thank you, sir. So it's from NICMAR and also CIPU. I'll be brief. Thank you. It's only done by two of them. But I think in terms of implementation, because I'm more into that, I believe more in execution. I think embracing our own, unique ways, like four of us talking about initiatives that are, and also for the listeners, each one of them has unique identity of each of the organization.
True.
Same is true for individuals.
True.
More we are able to embrace that uniqueness.
Absolutely.
And strengthen it. That's a better way to grow, I think, for everybody. Otherwise, we just feel the pressure.
Yeah.
And then we're just trying to do something around here and there. But if we can embrace uniqueness of each of the individual's roles, sections, as you rightly said,
absolutely,
I think that is a better way to grow, because there's so much for everybody around. Thank you once.
Thank you everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's nice talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you.